Hello, good morning, everyone.
Morning, Chair.
Good morning, Chair.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Chair.
Did I give you any homework? Not yet? No.
No.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, by the way, where did we finish last week?
We did the e-communication like with the passage.
Okay, can you tell me page number? My notes said that 50.
Page number 16.
Oh, okay, 16, right. So, I think we have already done speaking about advantages and disadvantages of learning with the School of the Air.
Yes, Chair.
Okay. Yeah, especially, I have an idea to make a debate for you, but maybe because of the time and I'm sorry I was too busy during these days, so I couldn't contact you to give as a homework. Maybe if we have a chance, okay, we would do it. Okay, so now let's go to next paragraph. Next page, sorry, page number 17. So, okay. Okay, on page number 17, question number 3. You have to find the words in the text for the following. Number 1, a place where TV program, films, and recording are made.
Studio?
Studio.
Question mark.
Yeah, Swan?
Studio.
Studio. Okay. Can you point out where did you see that word?
What do you mean, teacher?
Chair, which page number? Because my connection is not. Second paragraph.
Okay, yes, page number 17.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, page number 17. Second paragraph. Yes, can you point out where is that word?
Lessons are given by the teachers who is in the studio.
Okay, yes, great. So number 2, a piece of equipment that is sent into space to travel around the Earth in order to receive and send information.
Satellites.
Satellite.
Yeah, satellite. Where is it, that word?
The next sentence like the lessons are sent to the student by satellite.
Okay, great. And then third, number 3, a camera record moving picture and sound so that you can be shown on the internet as they happen.
Is it a webcam?
Okay, webcam, right? So where is that word?
The second paragraph, the lessons.
They can take part in the lessons in real time in a webcam, right? And then how about number 4, a small computer that you can carry with you?
Laptop.
Laptop, right? So how about the words? Where's the word?
I do all my lessons on my laptop at home.
I do all my
Okay.
lessons.
Right, okay, thank you. And then next one, number 5. A piece of equipment for recording sound so that it can be sent electronically.
Microphone.
Microphone.
Okay, microphone. How about where's the word?
There's
There
a
is a
webcam
webcam
and
and
microphones
computer.
on the computer.
Yes, that's correct. So number 6, a large electronic widescreen which is used by teachers and students in the classroom.
Interactive whiteboard. Whiteboard.
Whiteboard. Yes, where is it?
The teacher uses an
The teacher used an interactive whiteboard in the studio.
Okay, yes. How about everyone? Is that fine?
Yes, Chair.
Okay.
Sure.
So if you don't see those words, okay, please tell us openly, right? So now let's go to number 4. Write a heading for each paragraph of the article. Do you know how to write a heading? You know that?
No.
No? Okay.
A title.
Yes, a title, right, of course.
Yes.
You know, if we say a title is, you know, like the main, okay, the main title of a passage, right? Here it means that a heading. A heading means that like a subtitle, right? Subtitle of a paragraph, right? Is anyone who knows how to write a subtitle?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. So can you discuss about that?
Okay, teacher, by writing a subtitle, do you mean writing it on like an editing software and like, you know, doing like editing a video, or do you mean, yeah, that's the only thing I know. Can you explain what
Okay, thank
it
you.
is?
Yep. Okay, so now let's listen to next one. Who was?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, Suzanne?
Yes, like for me, like I used to like write some kind of the titles in the like English lessons. Like mostly they are write by the total, like the combining the sentences, like and then making the one sentence to make the own like title.
Okay. So is it a title, a sentence, or just only phrase?
Like just a phrase, I guess.
Okay. So how about Sven?
I didn't realize, yeah, the subtitle thing that we're talking about are not the same that I know.
So can you tell that what you know?
Do I really have to though? Okay.
Yes.
So from my understanding, a subtitle is when someone says something in like a movie or a video or whatever, and like someone put the words under, you know, what he says. So for
Okay.
like people who don't understand English a lot, or people who are deaf, yep, the subtitles. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I see it. I realized that what you mean. That's we call the. Okay, Evan. Yes. Okay, and then you know what I want you to tell you is that here is a subtitle, sub hyphen and the title. Okay, so subtitle is here means that like a mini, okay, mini title. Okay, so if as I explained you before, you know, if we say a title, that's just a main title. Okay, a main title of a passage. If we say subtitle, that's just like a mini heading. Like if we say that, that's just called heading. Okay, a heading of a paragraph. Okay, so you mean the word you mean is we realize that the subtitle is like, you know, the line which is beneath in the, you know, in the movie, and then sometimes we can see it, maybe sometime English to Burmese and Burmese or English translation, or sometimes Chinese like that, right? Okay, here subtitle means that the heading. If you read a paragraph, okay, if you read after reading a paragraph, you have to think about what is this paragraph about. Okay, and after that you have to get a phrase, a suitable phrase for that paragraph. That's we call that heading or sub hyphen title. Got it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So here it said that the example paragraph 1 is going to school in Australia. Let's see that. Okay, let's read the first paragraph. Going to school is normal for Australian children who never blah blah blah. Okay, so you better read the first paragraph, and there is the example which is written as the, you know, heading for that, for the first paragraph. Okay, so please read the first paragraph, and after that go back to the example.
Teacher, can you please tell me what do I need to do? Because
I just popped out from the Zoom as letter city went off.
Okay, Rachel, now your friends are reading page number 17. Okay.
Yes.
Page number 17. And there is the question number 4. They have to write a heading for each paragraph of the article. Okay, so now they are reading the first paragraph and they are looking at the example, the first example. And after that, they will start to work their own.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Are you all done? I think you're done for the first paragraph, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's keep on to second paragraph. Please read second paragraph and you have to think about a suitable or appropriate heading for that paragraph. Are you done?
Yes, yeah.
Yes,
Okay, so yes. Okay, so KK, what will be your heading?
Given lessons by teacher in a studio.
Okay, given lesson. Yeah, can you repeat it again? Given lessons.
Given lessons by a teacher in a studio room.
Okay, yes. So how about others?
For me, I think like how the satellite is working.
How the lessons are given.
Okay, how the lessons.
The lessons are sent.
Okay, how the lessons are sent, right? And then, how about others? Punya point, kampai. Yes, Kamyazu.
Yes, teacher. How the lessons are given.
How the lessons are given. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So Myasu type.
How they learn your lesson.
Sorry, how?
How they learn your lesson.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. Most of you are correct, right? So in this paragraph, the main point, okay, the main point is how the lessons are given by satellite, right? Okay. So here it mentioned that the lessons are given by the teacher who is in the studio, and then they sent to the satellite, and they can also, as the student can access their, the lessons on their computer, and after that they can take part in the lessons in real time, right, using a webcam. So the main point, the theme of this paragraph is how the lessons are given. Okay, so in other words is how the students can learn the lesson. Okay. Yes. So now, thank you. So now let's move on to next paragraph. Hi, I'm Jack. Hello, Ivan, are you okay?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, now your friends are reading the paragraph, the passage on page number 16, and then they are thinking about how to write the heading. They are writing the
16 notes.
yeah, the paragraph on page 16. Okay, I think you all have got the heading for that paragraph. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. What's your title?
My title is like explaining the studying equipment.
Okay.
Jan's opinion.
Sorry?
Jan's opinion.
Oh, you mean the Jack's opinion?
Yes. I think it pronounced like Jan, J-N-E. Jane or Jan.
Okay.
So the J-A-C-K.
It's Jane.
Right. So here it said the hi, I am Jack. For me, it's on my book. It said the J-A-C-K.
Like on my book, it's like J-A-N-E.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Like my title, my subtitle is like Jane's opinion.
Okay, so I'm not sure why our book is different name. Yeah, in my book it said the hi, I'm Jack, J-A-C-K. Yeah, no problem. So the name is not problem, right? So how about next? How about next one?
How I do all my lessons on my laptop.
Okay, thank you. So Suzanne.
Online learning with so many technological equipment.
Okay, thank you. Tower up. Where are you?
I'm right here.
Yes. So what will be your heading?
How the student attend class and take lesson. Homework.
So can you make it a little shorter?
I don't know. Like I can only make how the student attend class.
Okay, that's it, right? And then next one is 刚看tonton.
So I didn't heard anything because of the lag. The
Mm.
only thing that I know is to read something.
Yeah, your friends are reading and thinking about the heading of each paragraph. Are you playing game or are you studying?
Okay.
Okay, 刚看.
I can't. Like, no, actually, I'm not using my Wi-Fi. I'm using the neighbor.
Okay, yes. Then 波米亚刚.
Attending school with technology.
Okay, attending with.
Technology equipment.
Okay, attending the class. Okay, attending class with technology equipment, or you can say that Jack's daily routine in studying with technology. Okay, so you can think as well, and then the last paragraph. Ah, okay. Are you awake now? Hey, when Einstein meet KK and then he has to show his tan. Are you then? Not yet. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so is there anyone who want to describe your idea?
Education and future.
Okay, education in the future, right? Suzu?
How education will work in the future?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anybody else? How about Ivan?
The dying education and technology.
Sorry, can you repeat it again?
The dying education and technology.
Mm-hmm. The dime or the time?
DYING, dying.
Oh my God. The dying education in the future, right? So this is really interesting. Why do you say so?
I think the online learning, really doesn't great. I like the face-to-face education, face-to-face learning than the online learning because most of the online learnings the student doesn't really interest in the lesson, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
yeah.
That's what you think. But sometimes we have to learn the lessons according to the situation, right? Yeah, but whatever's, if we must do something, we must do that, right? Okay, maybe, yeah, I realize that, and I know your feeling. Face-to-face learning is better than, face-to-face learning is better than online learning, because virtual learning is, because you cannot touch it, right? You cannot touch your friend, you cannot tease your friend. For example, you cannot run around in the class, right? So I know your nature, it's, the boys and the youth's nature. I know the youth's nature. But maybe according to the situation, we must do it. That's why, okay? So whatever, you better try, you better give your attention in the lessons as much as you can, right? Okay, thank you. So how about others? So Kamizu.
Yes, teacher. Education for future.
Okay, yes, Yuya.
How education will work in the future.
Okay. Yes. So most of your ideas are appropriate. How about Diha?
How education will work in the future.
Okay. And you can say that education in the future. Or like if you don't want to make a long phrase, you can say future education. But education in the future would be appropriate, right?
Yes.
So now let's move on to the next one. Number 5, you have to write about the sentences using the will future passive form of the verbs in bracket. I think before we go there, we better discuss a little about some grammar. Okay, so in your right hand side, you would see use of English, will, future, passive form. Okay, so can I know how much do you know about future form? Okay, if here it said that only just will, but I want you to discuss with you is about the future tense.
Yes.
So can you tell me the form? The form in
Like totally they have the 4 tenses in the future, like future tense and future continuous, like future perfect continuous and future perfect. Like I think maybe 3 or 4 tenses. Maybe totally 4. Yeah.
yes, totally 4. So when you have to use those future tense?
talk about what will happen in the future or not sure, like going to plans or something like that.
Okay, so how about others? Is there anyone who wants to discuss about more, future tenses?
So, tense is present and action that has not yet happened or a state does not yet exist. Is future tense.
Okay. Especially, we use a future tense for the future. That is direct, okay? That is direct explanation. But, oh my God. Okay, but we have to know there are 4 kinds of future tense, right? So according to the situation, we have to change the tenses, the usage of tenses, right? If you want to talk about the situation related to the simple future, you have to use modal verb plus infinitive verb. And if you want to talk about the future tense, relate the future situation, which is related to the how should I say, perfect tense, you have to use future perfect tense and future perfect continuous. Sometimes you can use future continuous like that, okay? So according to the situation, you have to change the usage of tenses, right? But here it said that only just simple future, right? So in simple future, you would see that modal verb plus infinitive, right? After modal verb, we have to say infinitive verb, right? No modal verb plus verb 1. No verb 1 in the future, right? So you have to better say modal verb plus infinitive verb. Infinitive verb is the basic verb of a verb, right? So it doesn't show any tenses, right? You cannot add as or es on at that verb. So that's we call that infinitive verb. Okay, and then another name for infinitive verb is we call bare infinitive. Okay, so and for in modal verbs, so can I know how many modal verbs you already know that?
I mean, like will, can, like kind of like that.
Of course.
Like can cook, share, should, will, would, me, my, mess.
Okay, yes, correct. Can go, shall, will, me, my, must. Right. But do you know how to use it? So if you want to talk about something that is not sure, what modal verb you will use?
Like
Well,
Might.
Okay,
might.
may or might.
Yeah.
Right. So if you, for example, while you are speaking and discussing with something, at the time your friend asks you a question. Is that okay? For example, incidentally, right? So you have to make decision incidentally and reply to him. At the time, what future tense you have? What
Should.
verb?
Should.
Should. Should.
Can.
Will. Okay. At the time of speaking, your friend suddenly asks you a question about the tomorrow, right? So you have to make decision yourself at the time. You have to reply it back. So at the time, you have to use will. Okay. So for example,
But what if I instant replied it?
Sorry.
What if I instant replied it?
What do you mean instant replying?
Wait, how can I say? Like he asked me a question. For a second later, I replied it very fast.
Okay, so whatever it is, if you have to make a decision for something, in a short time, you have to use it will. For example, if your friend asks you, what will you do tomorrow? Okay, I'll come to you. Or maybe after, before you are part with your friends, before you say goodbye to your friend. Okay, my friend, I'll phone you tomorrow. Okay, so you don't say I am going to phone you tomorrow, right? You have to say I'll phone you tomorrow.
Sure. How about should?
Should is when you want to give a okay. So before I explain, is there anyone who want to explain that?
Yes.
Should
Yes,
is
I
like someone when someone asks you decisions or advice using that, right?
Okay, yes. So Susan, do you want to discuss that?
Yes, like should when we use like sure like it's really like a starting and it's really like obviously like definitely we have to do and we cannot avoid like any suggestions or like that. It's really sure like for example like 100% it's really sure. We might have to do that one.
Okay, yes. So let's listen to next. Who want to discuss? Okay, Ivan.
I think when you want to like suggest something to someone.
Okay, yes, of course. And then, you know, should and shall and should, we need to know how to use them, right? Shall, I will explain you about shall first, right? So we have to use shall and would you want to ask someone because the answer will be, you don't know the answer will be yes or no. Okay, other than, for example, shall I do this one? Shall I set the table for dinner? Shall I open the window? Right. So if you don't know what the answer will give answer to you, right? So you have to, like, you know, shall is like when you make, how should I say, when you want to persuade someone, so you can use shall. Okay, shall I open the window? Shall I go? Shall I do? Right. So in Burmese, we have to say like a yamala, right? Shall I open the window to point like yamala? But you don't know what will be his or her answers. Okay. So other time you have to use shall, and as next one is you have to use shall with only just. Can you use he? Can you use he shall, she shall? No. No. Okay. You can say yes, Diha.
So, or I can say, or he should or she should.
Okay. Yes, he should or she should. For shall, we have to say we shall, I shall. That's it. Okay. So I shall I, we shall we, like that, right? So another, another, how should I say? Another point of view, we can say that another person, is the first person, second person, third person, right? For only just first person, we can use shall. Second person and third person, we don't use it. We cannot use it. No, we don't use it. We cannot use it, right? We shouldn't use it. That's it. And then next one about should. Should is if you want to give a suggestion to someone, so you have to use should. Okay. In Burmese, we say that think day, right? You should do this one, right? So you should do this one. I should do this one. I should do that one. Okay. So sometimes instead of should, we usually say that you'd better. Okay, you better go there. You better watch. How should I say? You better watch the video clip. You better watch this video clip, right? Instead of saying you'd better, we say that sometimes should. We should do that one. Okay. And then next one is the usage of may and might, right? So if you are not sure for something, you have to use may or might. Okay, so will you come tomorrow? I may, right? If you say I may, is you are not sure to come. But if you say I will, you are sure to come to your friends, right? So that is the usage of may and might. And then next one is if you want to show the politeness, okay? If you want to show your politeness to some other people and the listener, you can say may or might, right? So may I come? I may go, like that, right? Yes. Right. So, and the next one is must. Okay. So, yes, to mean so. Can you discuss about mess?
Discuss about
Mess.
maths.
Yes.
Numbers.
Can you discuss how to use mass?
Oh, mass.
Oh,
Mass go MASS or MATH or MEX.
MUS. MUST.
MUSD.
到 Universal
Oh,
的标
it's
啊，
like
这种
when you
这
should
叫
do
老美人。
something. It's like when you should do something, like you must do it. Like you must do it.
Okay. I'm sorry for my weak pronunciation. Go.
No, Chat. My mother was talking to me. I was listening to her. So I didn't hear like
Oh, okay.
exactly. That's why.
Yeah, thanks God. You know, I'm so pity. How should I say it? I feel very pity on me. Oh my God, my pronunciation is really bad. That's
No, teacher. No, it's not like that.
okay.
It's not
Okay.
like
Okay. Yes. Whatever. Thank you. I heard Swan. Did you say something? Swan, that's so.
Yeah, teacher, I thought I got teleported into another universe because you're saying something about math. I also heard math.
Oh my God. Suzu, did you hear math?
Yes, he did because he said numbers.
Where is it? Let me see that.
But I heard only the must. I'm USD must.
Yes. Okay. Swan. Right. Swan, where are you? Your mind is in the grass field.
冇teacher 話表人哋聽字本又係做表人，嘛得嘛teacher 咩數都表得難好嘅，不過teacher 咩數會把人 math 數諗條未來就得教我哈，爸爸要話咧。
Okay. I'm sorry for my weak pronunciation. I will practice.
It's okay.
Oh, okay.
There's
I'll
no
practice. I will practice more Swan. Okay. So, yes, one of your friend answered that. Yes.
We use
Yes.
math for strong suggestions and opinions.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. So, is anyone?
Like we also use to give an order to someone.
Okay. Yes, those are correct. You know, when you want to give an order to someone, you have to use must. And then, you know, if you are, someone must do that one surely. Okay. So that's like a rules and regulation, especially, you know, rules and regulation and the things you must do, you can't avoid it. So we have to use must, right? You must go. You must do. This is rules and regulation. Okay, you must avoid, you must follow like that, right? And so let's discuss about differences between must and have to. Have to. Yeah, have to is also the same. Sorry, have to. It's also the similar meaning to must, but their usage is a little different.
Like in math, you should definitely do it. Like 100% strongly advice, but like in have to, it gives you choices. You should strongly do. You should do that like exactly, but even if you don't want to, you can. It's like a little bit different.
Okay, yeah, that is correct. Absolutely correct, right? So must and have to is like must is like rules and regulation. Have to is you have to the choice. For example, if the doctor say you must take this medicine. Okay, you must take this tablet. That is you cannot avoid it. Maybe if someone asks you, you have to take this medicine. That is your choice. For the doctor, you have no choice to avoid it, right? So if your friend suggests you have to take this medicine, right? So you can avoid it, right? Because maybe he or she is not a doctor. Okay. Yes. So now let's go back to the lessons. Here are the lesson one.
Sure. Yeah. Going to is the future tense too, right?
Oh yes, going to is also future tense too. You know, there are some, you know, percentage. There are some, should I say, the percentage of, you know, how much you are sure. It depending on how much you are sure is you can use those will, and then be going to, and then present continuous tense, right? So will, if you want to talk about something is not sure for the future, you can use will. if you have already planned and if you're sure, you have to use, you must use, okay? You must use be going to. And then for the that one is a present continuous tense. Present continuous tense you can use as a future because you have already planned it, you have already prepared everything for your future. So you have to use present continuous tense. For example, I am going to, okay, sorry, no. I am having my lunch after the class. Okay, I'm having my lunch after the class. That is you have already sure. After your class, your mom is already prepared for your lunch. Okay, Suzu, you got it? Yeah.
Yes, I got it.
Yep. So now let me go back to the lessons. The lesson wants you to discuss about the passive form. Okay. So let's move on about passive form. So when we have, so what kind of sentences are passive form?
I think that was happening like not like objects are like can I say in Burmese? Like I cannot explain in Burmese that one.
Oh, okay, yes.
Like passes are like တခုခုကပြုလုပ်ခြင်းကိုခံရတာ for example like နွားနို့ကနွားနို့ကိုထုတ်လုပ်တယ်ဆိုရင်နွားနို့ကထုတ်လုပ်ခြင်းကိုခံရတယ်အဲဆိုရင် produced by the cows like that.
Okay, yes, thank you. Right. How about Rachel?
You mean I'm not really sure about that.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for your answer, whatever. And Aka?
I don't actually know that.
Okay, so is there anyone who wants to discuss about passive form?
Yeah, it's like active passive, like
yeah, of course.
Like,
of course it is.
Like in active, it was go directly. Like it sometimes how could I say? I'm just thinking about the example sentence. Like in active, it goes directly. But in passive, we need to change like are into where, and like there are many conditions. And like we use by, and there's it's like I know that it's inactive. It's like subject plus object, subject plus verb plus object. In passive, it's like object plus verb plus subject. It goes like that, right?
So subject say you must use with by. Object verb. Okay, object verb verb 3. But object verb to be verb 3 by the subject, right?
Yes, sure, yeah.
Here when the subject. Oh, okay. What is it?
May I say something?
Okay, yes, you can.
Yeah, I just remember that.
Okay, thanks, Scott.
Edit like focus on a subject to someone who did something, and then passive is like focus to the object.
Okay.
Person, like maybe how to say that? It's like object. Passive
I think we have to focus. We used to change the focus on action. Right?
Okay, Rasha, is that right? Your friend Suzu support you. Is that correct? Is that
yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Suzu, for supporting your friend Rachel. Okay, yes. So active and passive is only just we have to say that if a noun acts, okay, as a subject work, we have to use active verb, right? If a noun work, okay, work as a how should I say object, that if we want, that is what we want to focus. If we want to emphasize the subject, we use active form. And if we want to emphasize focus, okay, if we want to focus to object, so we have to write passive form like that, right? For example, I like blue. If you say I like blue, okay, so here is sorry, no, this is not appropriate one. Okay, for example, I like cake, right? So I like cake. So here you said active form, right? It wants to say you only just the one I like cake, right? If you say cake, for example, this is example one, right? No, probably or not, doesn't matter, right? So cake is liked. Okay, if you say cake is liked and then you want to mention only just you like this cake, okay? You don't want to mention about, you don't want to focus yourself. That's it, active form and passive form is the things you want to, the noun you want to focus, according to the noun you want to focus. Like that, right? Yeah, that is called active form and passive form. Maybe, when you write formal sentences, you should not focus to yourself. That's why at that time, you have to use passive form. Okay, so when you write a letter, there will be informal form and formal form, right? So especially for formal writing, you should not emphasize, you should not focus to yourself. At the time, you have to use passive form. Okay, so passive form is also very essential. You need to know it. Okay. Yeah. Is there any question till now? Okay. Yeah, I think maybe some of you have already know that. I mean, even though they don't know with the format, they have already know how to use it, right? So whatever is okay. As you said, let me write at the note. So the form, subject, verb, that says at the form. That says right. And then object, be.
Object plus.
Yeah.
So do we need to note down in the notebook?
Yes, if you want, you can. Okay, my next question is that when you change active voice to passive voice, do you know how to change the verb form?
Yes.
Can you tell me that? Can you discuss that?
I'm like I am into where.
Okay. You mean that I mean that like verb to be
No, like it's into us.
Verb
Verb one into like verb two.
Okay. So how about others?
Like for the present tense, like for the active form, we use the verb one and then like verb one es, and then for the passive form, we use like yeah, verb es plus verb three, and then we normally do like that. I mean, for
Okay.
example.
Yes. And then I will share the screen. Can you see the screen? Right. So this is this is the verb form which change active voice to passive voice. Okay. If your verb is verb one, you have to change MSR plus verb three. It is verb two words with verb three, and MSR for ing, MSR being verb three. Are you okay? So if you want to note down, you can note it down. So this one is is, are, be, and verb 3. Hello, Jasmine, are you okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Jasmine, by the way, while waiting for your friends, some of your friends are still writing. Not only Jasmine, okay, not only Jasmine, but others. What do you think of my place? I mean that. Do you think where am I living?
Somewhere where's money? Restaurants and shops. Downtown.
Okay, so how about others? I heard someone said.
Or street down there. Some but I had also like. I think you gay.
Yes.
That's just I make a joke, right? Shut up, guys. That's a joke.
Vào suy bao cảnh.
Chewbacca. Okay. Yeah, not exactly yet.
Downtown.
No, downtown. Do you
Zonda.
Zondao? Okay. Exactly.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my god.
Really?
Really? Yes. And then how about others?
I'm sure that around your place there will be lots of restaurants and as a street foods.
Yeah, yeah, because you heard that, the cock sounds and then dog sounds. Yeah. Yeah. So one of okay, thanks God, thanks for your answer, right? Maybe when I asked that question, one of the students answered that, teacher, you are living in a countryside.
I know. And you are in Windows 7.
Windows 7.
Because your background is like Windows 7 background.
Okay. Yes, I'm living in a virtual world, right? Yeah. So I think that's it. When I see Jasmine is yawning, that's why I want to make her eyes wider. So I ask a question, right? Yeah. So sometimes I feel sorry that some of the background songs make. I'm worried that but I can't maintain them, right? I can't tell them to stop, right? So that's it. They are working their jobs. And also I have to work my job too, right? So sometimes they were. So I have already told you. I think there are 9. One of my neighbor has 9 dogs, right? And then I have already told you that last week, right?
Yes, you do.
I have a pet too.
Yes. Okay. They have 9
I
dogs.
have 2 dogs and 3 cats.
Really? 4 dogs and 3 cats.
Yes.
Oh, are they fighting each other?
And no chair. Very clever.
Oh my God, this is really strange. Okay. Yeah. Maybe they are familiar each other because they have been meeting since they were since they were kids, right? Okay. So now let's go back to active voice and passive voice. Okay. So this is I think Jasmine, you said that verb 1 into verb 2 is direct and indirect speech. Direct speech to indirect speech. Okay. So active and passive is only just verb 1 and be plus verb 3. Okay. I think now you have already familiar that one. I think you have already recalled your memory. Most of you have already know that one, but you may forget it. I think so, right? So for simple future here, will. So you can use with will. If you want to move active to passive, will plus motive, will plus infinitive verb, right? So how would you change to passive voice? Will
plus B plus factory.
Okay, good job. Will plus be plus factory. Okay, so now let's see the example here. Here's a positive, right? Will be past participle. They call just participle. Past participles is factory and present participle is for ing, right? So lessons will be given over the internet, right? And that is for passive positive. And for negative, here is that schools with classroom, libraries, music rooms, and science library won't be needed. Okay, I think you will know it this one. And next one is a question: will all exam be taken online? That's it. Okay, so now let's do exercise 5. You have to write out the sentences using the will, future, and passive form of the verbs in brackets. Okay, so can you answer that one? I think the verb is already given, not drive and control.
Cars won't be driven by people. They were controlled by computers.
Okay, they will control or they will be controlled.
They will be controlled.
Okay, they will be controlled by.
But it's yeah.
Okay, yes. So now next 2. Text messaging. How about number 2? Text messaging
Will be replaced.
will be replaced. Okay, will be replaced by voice to text technology. Okay. And how about 3?
All house will be heated by solar power.
Okay, all houses are heated by, oh, sorry, no, will be heated
Will be.
solar power. Yes. Number 4.
There will be no shops or shopping centers or shops.
That all shopping
Will
will
be done
be
All
online.
shopping will be done.
Will be done.
Online. Okay, yes. Number 5.
Film will be downloaded at cinemas where they won't be shown and wait a second.
Will not be
Not show.
shown.
Not show is first, right? Not show is first,
Yeah.
and then download, and then watch. So
Films
will not be
will
shown.
not be shown.
Will not be
Will
shown
not be shown.
as
They will be
cinemas.
downloaded.
they will be
downloaded and watched at
Or
home.
watched at home.
okay. They will be downloaded and watched. Watched it also past participle, right? Watched at home, because they have the connected with and, right? So we don't use they will be downloaded. They will be watched, right? We can say they will be downloaded and watched at home. So is that correct right now? Yeah, most of you don't need to go to the cinema, right? Only just download it, or maybe sometimes just only you watched it in Netflix, right? Okay, so before I go to before I go to discussions, I think I need to do some homework. Chapter 2. Okay. So can you go to page number? Yeah, page number 13 to workbook. Okay.
Page number 13.
Yes, page number 30, workbook. Right? Right. So page number 13, you would see number 3. Read the itinerary for the first day of a school ski trip. Then write an account of what will happen. You have to use the passive form.
Is the page number 13 ang palaula?
Page number 13, you are in your workbook.
Coursebook igma.
Workbook.
Oh, sorry, hold on.
Okay. Thank you, Swan. You asked me the page number because I realized that now you are still in the class.
Workbook 8 Cambridge checkpoint 有进呢，到点了。上马币进呢。
Global. You have to look at global workbook.
The global workbook, course.
Global, okay. Cambridge Global English Workbook 8. You have never done workbook?
Oh, which page?
Oh, page number 13. Okay. Okay, so let's see here that you would see the title, right? You would see the table, which is describing about the first day of the school ski trip, right? So you have to write about those. You have to write those sentences with the passive form. Okay, there's the example. At 6:30, what would they do? coach takes students and teachers from school to the airport. So what would it change?
Passive form.
Yes. So it changed the passive form. We just see. Do you see the example one below the table?
Yes, 6:30.
Yeah, yes, at 6:30. And then in that table it said that 6:30 coach takes students and teacher from school to the airport, right? And the example is said that students and teachers will be taken from school to the airport by coach. You see the example?
Yes.
Okay, so how about 10 a.m. Local guide meets at. So how would you change that?
We will be meet.
Will
We will
be
be
met
meet by the local guide.
by the local guide.
Okay, we will met by
Local
guide.
yes, we will met by local guide. Okay. So do you want to write it down? Okay, so let's do it. If you're done, now let's move on to 10:30.
The answer is right. They will be taken to the hotel by bus.
They will be taken
To hotel by bus.
by bus. Okay.
What
Yes.
about we will be taken by bus to hotel?
We will be taken by bus to hotel. Yep. Yeah, it is also possible, but you have to think about is that the verb is related to hotel or not.
Like the place, related to the place. So we have to like.
Yeah. So if you think verb is related to the place, so you have to use the as a. So how about you right now? Can you hear right now?
Yes.
Yeah, I
can
still
hear
here.
Oh, okay. Yes. So Swan, we are discussing 10:30 a.m.
Sorry, teacher. Ta kuna ta headset ka kêu vào một tao mới chơi teacher vào cho làm đi nào. Vào lên teacher.
Okay, now we are discussing about the sentence at 10:30 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
We will be taken to the hotel by a bus.
Okay, we will be taken to hotel by bus, or we will be taken by bus to hotel. But actually, one thing we have to think is the verb is related to hotel, right? So taken is related to hotel. So we have to use we better. Okay, we better use we will be taken to hotel by bus. I heard someone said electricity's out. Who is it? Hi, Ray. Oh my God.
Yes, can you tell me again?
Mm-hmm. So you mean that the answer?
Yes, teacher, yes.
Okay, we will be taken to hotel by bus. As changed to we, right? Because as is an object, right? So we have, if we want to use as in the subject place, we have to change to we. Okay, so we will be taken. And then 12, hotel serves lunch.
We will be served lunch by hotel.
Okay, great. Lunch will be served by hotel, right? So I want to give you homework for the rest. Would that be fine?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. So this is your homework, right? Please note it down in your notebook. So what is today? Today is 17. Okay, so 17.
Can you tell me the page?
Yes, 17 1st, 2022 homework. Okay, please note it down like that, right? So when you look at the notebook, if you didn't write down the day and date, and then so which homework it is, you will miss out, right? That's why please write down the date, 17 1st, 2021, page number 13, Global English Workbook. Okay, page number 13. You have to keep on, you have to start 12, right? 12. And then now let's move on to I wish I had done that. So now let's go back to the course book. Are you all signs open again? Right, Zuzu? Your eyes becomes open, right? Because
Teacher, the homework is only the school trip, right?
yeah, the homework is only just school trip on page number 13. But there will be another as well, right? And after that, I will give it to you next. Yes. Okay, so now let's start from page number, oh, I didn't see page number here. 18. Okay, so now let's go to page number 18.
Teacher, course book.
Yes, course book. Now we are moving to course book. Okay, so in this, on this page, we have to discuss about I wish I hadn't done that. You know, when you have to use I wish.
Like I wish me like sit down.
Okay, sit down now, right?
Sanapura.
Yes, Sanapura, right? Okay, so how about others?
Answer be. I mean which page?
Page number 18. Page number 18 now is a course book. The previous one is a workbook, now is a course book. Right? Okay, so now it's a reading. Now you have to work with the pattern, but no problem, we will work it ourselves. You have to read the cartoon. What the story behind the picture? What do you think has happened? You have to write out your idea and compare them in small group. Okay, so we will do it later. And then we will think about it. You have to read the cartoon. There are only just 3 sentences, okay? And you have to think about what is the story behind the picture. Okay, please read it first. Are you done? Can you think about it? Yes.
What's it from? Wish and PreiG.
Sorry?
Wish and PreiG. PreiG.
Oh yeah, Wish and PreiG. Yes. So can you
What's it from?
Yeah, can you guess what the story behind? So why she is praying like that?
I have the
She's,
idea.
she's doing something wrong and she got regret.
Yes, of course. And then how about other?
Like she was like sending the wrong link, I guess, and then she didn't even like read it at all at first, and then she like unfortunately like sent it, and then she wishes she hadn't like showing the like impression that she won't send that one.
Okay, yes. So, Susan, can you call out one of your friends to discuss about what the story behind?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
She hadn't read the message of other my friend, and she write down what she wanted to. She said, I think like that.
Okay. Yes. So, yeah, Pomie, can you call off another one to discuss as the last?
Ivan.
Which one did you?
You can ask your friend. Pomie, can you tell your friend what he has to discuss? Where is Pomie now? Oh my God.
On page 18, you have to look the picture and tell the behind of the story.
Page 18, number 2, right? Number 1, I think.
Number 1.
Number 1, discuss about the picture. Look at the pictures and then like what she was doing.
I think she sent a letter to someone who she hasn't sent to be.
Okay. So, we can see that I wish I hadn't sent that. If only I waited and thought about it for a bit longer, I should have read it before I sent it. Okay, so she regrets something. Okay, she regret sending a message. She regret sending a message, right? That's why. So what time we have to use it? Wish is something. Here is a wish. I wish had plus verb 3. Okay, so I wish subject plus verb 2. I wish subject had plus verb 3. That is a little different, right? Here is a I wish subject had plus verb 3. It means that she wants to show that she regret sending the message. Yes, Susan. If you're done your homework, you can send it to me in the just Vibers group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So now you got it. Okay. So if you want to talk about something you could regret, okay. So you have to use I wish subject had but the re. Okay. If we speak in Burmese, မလုပ်ခဲ့ရင်ကောင်းမှာငါမသွားခဲ့ရင်ကောင်းမှာ okay မဖြစ်ခဲ့ရင်ကောင်းမှာ like that, right? So you can say that I wish I had plus but the re. Okay, so here you have to use with the negative form, right? Here, I wish I hadn't said that. ဒါကိုဒီစာကိုငါမပို့ခဲ့ရင်ကောင်းမှာ Okay, ငါမပို့ခဲ့တင်ဘူးငါမပို့ခဲ့ရင်ကောင်းမှာ Have you ever thought like that in your life?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So maybe I wish I hadn't read that book. Or maybe I wish I hadn't met that guy. Or I wish I hadn't being a friend with him. Okay, so you might have such kind of situation. So at the time you can mention your situation with I wish I had Valerie. Okay, you got it? Any question?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, if you say so, here is all explanation. Use of English which. Okay, and the second one is if only, past perfect, and next one is should have and shouldn't have. Okay, so there are 3 forms. There are 3 usage you can use it. Use I wish plus past perfect or if only past perfect to express regret about something you have done. Okay, so you better highlight those things. Please highlight with your notes. Okay, I wish plus past perfect. And next one is if only past perfect. You better highlight express regret. Only just those 3 points. Okay, and the next one is should have past participle. Okay, should have past participle is express self-criticism or criticisms of others. You better highlight express self-criticisms or criticisms of others. Are you done?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to give you homework number 2. Right? So is there any volunteer to write down the notes in the chat box, in the Vivers group box?
To write what?
What
Homework.
notes, teacher?
Yeah, homework. You know, for example, today is 16, right? So
Okay.
17/1, 2022 homework. The first one, global workbook, page number 13. And then, no, page number 13. Yes, that's it. Page number 13. And then global, here is a course book, right? Course book, page number 18, number 2. Please write it out in the chat box and then upload it, right? So your friends can see it.
So what's the deadline?
We will meet tomorrow, right?
Right.
Yes.
Can I go to toilet?
Sorry?
Can I go to toilet? Hello?
Yep.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Can I go to toilet?
Oh, you would have said that. Can I go to the restroom?
Yes, yes.
Okay, we are also done. Right, bye-bye. Okay,
Bye-bye, sir.
Okay, bye-bye, take it easy. Okay, so bye-bye. See you tomorrow, everyone.
Bye,
Bye,
teacher.
Bye, teacher. Thank you.
Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome.